Hello friends, I'm back for a tutorial on Entangled by Genesis from the Trick of the Tail album. This tune does require some fingerstyle ability. I'm not sure you could play it with a plectrum. I could be wrong, but probably not. So this is in standard tuning. We're going to be mostly in the key of D and the relative minor, B minor. We're also going to be going to a A flat minor 7/9 chord, but we'll get there later. The opening motif is we're gonna be just fretting the G string and the B string on the 7th fret. The high E string and the D string are going to be played open during this motif. So we start by plucking the B string. We pluck the open D string, we do a hammer-on from the 6th to the 7th fret on the G string, and we play the open E string after that. We come back to the open D, and then we play the G string on the 6th fret again. I'll play that very slow. All right, now here's where we're going to go to the B minor. So we're moving the root note down to the B on the low E string, 7th fret, and we're going to pluck it together with the B string at the same time. So they're both on the 7th fret. We play the open D, and we do the same hammer-on on the G string, and we play the open E string again, coming back to the open D string, then we play the B string and the low E string together, and arpeggiate down from the G string, open D, and then we're going to move our high note up to the high E string on the 5th fret, and we're going to arpeggio down the high E, the G string, and the open D string. I'll do that very slow. All right, so that takes you through most of the verses and all. He's going to be going to a G chord here, and the way he gets to that, you start the same motif, you start it the same way, but you come back and play the open D string, and you do that hammer-on the G, up to the open E string, before going to the G chord. All right, we're playing a G chord, but we're just really playing the bass note and the 3 middle strings, the B string, G string, and D string, all open. And the pattern I play there is I'm plucking the bass string, the G string, and the B string together. I end on the bass string. I'll do that pattern very slowly. And then we go to this E chord with the third in the bass. Oops. But we're just playing the E string here on the 4th fret, B string on the D string on the 2nd fret, and the G string on the 4th fret, and the B string is open. So we have a unison going there with the G and the B string. So from the G, then he just comes and does that arpeggio. He's got the same shape here. You can either play it with the bass string every time, or you can just anyway, it does that 4 times. And then you're just repeating what you did before. Okay, now we're coming up to this A flat minor chord, but we're not going to really have a root in there. We're going to be playing the D string on the 9th fret, the D string on the 9th fret, the G string on the 8th fret, the high E string on the 9th fret, and the B string is open. So we pluck the G string, we pluck the D string and the high E string at the same time. And then we arpeggio up the G and the B string. And then move the high E string down to the 6th fret, still playing the D string and the E string together. Alright, so it just repeats that. And then it ends on just the D string and the E string before going to the next chord. The next chord is this funky chord. It's basically it's a E major 7 with a 9 added on the high E string. And we have the low E string open. Alright, so what I'm doing there is I'm playing the bass string, the B string, and the high E string all together. And then I'm playing the G string and the B string. And you play the E string open. So the ending is so this one's a little hard to finger. It's my little hands, it's quite a stretch. Alright, and then we're going to a C with a D on top, and you can finger this either. That's a little bit hard. The way he does it, he uses his ring finger on the A string on the C note, and then we've got, you know, the B string on the 3rd fret, the high E string on the 2nd fret, and the arpeggio is just E string, B string, G string. So you pluck the root note and the high E string at the same time to begin with. And then we're just finishing out the C chord. So we're going from this D over C down to, except we're not playing, you know, a full D over C would be like that. But we just have the G string ringing open the whole time. And then the last is just a C, going back to the D. So it's a little bit hard because, you know, that's pretty fast. And then we just go back to that riff that we opened the song with. Before going to the chorus. So the chorus is a D with a 3rd in the bass. I use my thumb to play the 3rd. B minor. Back to the D with the 3rd in the bass, back to the B minor, back to the D, E minor, C, E minor, B7, to A major, to E major. And then we just go into that 2nd verse or 3rd verse, whichever one it is, by just doing that same motif. Everything just repeats. All right. Okay, when it comes out of the 2nd chorus, so what we're doing here, we have the D string fretted on the 7th fret, G string on the 6th fret, and the E string on the 7th fret. The B string is open. We play the D and the E string together and arpeggio up. And then we're staying on the E string to come down those notes. And then we're going to arpeggio back down the B string and the G string. And then just move the whole thing down 2 frets. So it's now we're to that A flat minor chord again. So we have our root note here on the 4th fret, low E string, playing the G string here on the 3rd, B string is open, high E string 2nd fret. Just arpeggio up and down. All right, now there we're going to move the root note down to the open E. We're going to keep this shape here the same through this whole thing. So the G string remains, the B string remains open, E still on the 2nd fret. So all this top part stays the same. It's only the bass note that's changing. I have to play it with my thumb here. I think that's probably what you're going to have to do. And the arpeggio is just... All right, so he does that, he repeats that, and he occasionally, well, there's 2 times where he actually doesn't play the E string open, he just goes. So there's 2 times that he doesn't play the open E, he plays it on the 4th fret. Which I think is, it's accomplishing the same thing. One is just, you got the E open and then the 3rd of the chord is here. But all right, so he does that. And then the next chord we're going to go to is this B sus2 chord. And the arpeggio is just straight up from the A string, D string, G string, B string. And then we just add the 3rd of the B minor chord. Just play it, go back to the B string on the 2nd fret and the G string. So it does that 4 times. Now we've got just the A string on the 2nd fret, the D string on the 4th fret, and the G string and B string are open. We add that note on the B string on the 3rd fret. Now we play the open E string. Same arpeggio up top. So he changes the arpeggio a little bit there. I'll play it slow. And then the bass note goes E string on the 2nd fret, open A, back to the B sus2. And then it just ends on a B minor chord after all that synthesizer stuff. And that's Entangled. That's how you play that part. Because there are 3 guitar parts in it, you know, you hear all these other notes and it's a little bit difficult to tease out what is actually the main guitar part. But I have watched Steve Hackett play it live and the hand positions, and that's as close as I can get. So I hope that helps, and I hope you have fun with that. So I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.